Welcome to Land Grant Today. My name is Dr. Jamie Davis, and today we have the pleasure of speaking with Ms. Imani Cooper. Imani, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So, Ms. Cooper, it's my understanding that you had an experience visiting the White House as a HBCU All-Star Scholar. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
All right. So we're going to talk about that today, but before we get into that, let's talk about who you are. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so to begin, my name is Imani Cooper. I am a junior here at Florida A&M University, majoring in Biological Systems Engineering, which falls under the College of Agriculture and Food Sciences. I am from Charlotte, North Carolina originally. I graduated high school in Tampa, Florida, so that brings me here to FAMU.
Okay.
I have so many different experiences being here at FAMU. It's been great.
Okay. And we're going to talk about those experiences
Yes.
also. But let's focus on your major. You said Biological Systems Engineering.
Yes.
All right. So what is Biological Systems Engineering, and why did you choose to pursue it?
So Biological Systems Engineering, it falls directly under agriculture and food sciences. It's that engineering, that technical factor as far as providing food and resources to pretty much everybody. So we are the masterminds, we're that technical piece to feeding the humanity pretty much, and providing techniques to be able to do that, the engineering, the machinery to do that. And so for me, I was interested in the major originally because actually one of the recruiters, her name is Miss Tokwasha Freeman, she introduced me to the field. So in high school, she was explaining it to me and I was like, okay, so this sounds interesting. I knew I wanted to do engineering because I'm pretty good at math, science, STEM was my thing. And so when she introduced it to me, the way she explained how you play a part in changing and affecting those around you, like that was that piece that really interested me because I wanted to have a major where I could use my expertise in STEM, but also be able to, you know, improve our society and help those around me. So I felt that this was the major to do that. Like this was the perfect starting ground. So with the major, I do want to go to grad school, further my knowledge within the field, and then take that into the world and work for the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA. That is one of my dream companies to work with, and it is a federal agency as well. And I want to work with them to try to change some of the things that we see within our agriculture today and the way that we grow our food and the way that we irrigate and the techniques that we're using to process food and different things like that. So that is originally, that's how I've become and I've grown to love this major in the field that I'm in. So,
well, it's commendable why you chose the major. You want to help, give back, and eventually be that solution to feeding the masses. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
But can you give us an example? When you say biological systems engineering, it's a lot, right?
Yeah.
So can you give us an example that the average person may understand what you guys do?
Okay. Think about this. There are billions of people in this world, and there's got to be some way to feed all of these people. And of course, everyone needs food, everyone needs water to survive. And so biological systems engineering, we are that piece to yield the food and the water that the world needs. And so we're that mastermind behind all of that, coming up with new techniques of how to yield more food, how to feed more people. And so that is how I see it. You have systems such as a center pivot irrigation system, which is something that I'm actually learning currently. One of my courses is called Design to Intro Analysis. And we're coming up with different designs to be able to water crops and increase the yield that the farmlands are producing. And so that's so important because there are so many people. And so coming up with new ways and new technologies to be able to feed as many people as possible, that is how I see biological systems engineering. And that's usually what I'll tell somebody when I describe the major. So that's
very important.
Yeah, very important.
Okay, great. So we know why you chose BSc, Biological Systems Engineering, but tell us why you chose FAMU. Many people choose it because their family went here, the culture, HBCU. What brought you to FAMU?
Okay, so I'll be honest, FAMU was not my #1 first choice in high school. One, because being in Tampa, that was where I was my senior year. FAMU kind of had that negative reputation, or any HBCU in itself. They were always seen as, not comparing with other schools or larger schools, and their programs not being where they need to be. And to me, going to FAMU was not really something that was like a dream for me because of how I've been told, how, what I've been exposed to in high school. So my dream school was like University of Florida, Florida State, like those really big schools that everyone talks about. So it took my mom and other family members that were graduates and alum from HBCUs to really push me to look into more of what they offered. And I did my research, and I found my 2 top HBCUs. I was between FAMU and North Carolina A&T State University, which is in Greensboro, North Carolina. And I took my first college tour. FAMU was my first tour, and I completely loved the school. And I was like, I don't know why people talk so bad about HBCUs, because when I came for the tour, they were so accepting. You really got that family vibe from everyone, the administration, the tour guides, the students. And so it really kind of changed my perception of what an HBCU was. And I also, the ironic part was I toured Florida State the same day, and going from FAMU to Florida State, it was completely different, like, atmosphere. Like, Florida State was not nearly as accepting and opening. Yes, it's a great school. Granted, they are amazing programs, but I didn't get that same love for the students. I didn't get that same accepting, the feeling of you should be here. So, and it really got me thinking, okay, so maybe FAMU or an HBCU in itself is something that I really need to look into. And then, of course, being able to receive scholarships from FAMU, that was another factor, because of course, who wants to go in debt?
You did receive a scholarship, correct?
Yes, I have gotten 2 scholarships, actually. I'm a George W. Gore Scholarship recipient and also an NRCS-based scholarship student. So I've received a plethora of scholarships from, of course, College of Agriculture and Food Sciences, and also from FAMU, and that's really helped me a lot. And that really was what kind of pushed me to really come here, because it was them making sure that I was set financially. It was FAMU making sure that I was in contact with the right people, and I was like, well, this is where I need to be. And I was, of course, when you're in high school, you don't know what to expect from college. So it was like, I felt like I was going to be prepared here, and I would get the support that I needed. Being that I am from North Carolina and my family's all the way there, it was hard to go 600 miles away to school.
Right.
But being here and seeing how the faculty works with you and how the students are accepting, and you get that Rattler spirit, it really kind of set the stone for me and said, this is where you need to be. And I've gotten that love ever since.
Interesting story. You brought up so many good points, though. The misconception as a high school senior of what a HBCU is, and then you came here and had a totally different experience. What advice would you give, briefly, what advice would you give a high school senior who's maybe wrote off HBCUs or FAMU?
I would tell them, think about this. Think about your experience in college. Yes, the big schools, they are great, but think about the support that you're going to receive. It's so important to make sure you know what you want to do, and make sure that the school you go to is going to support that same dream. They're going to put you in contact with the right resources. They're going to put you in contact with the right people, the right internship, the right scholarship. Make sure that you know what you want to do, and the school that you're going to is going to support you in that same dream.
And are you getting support at FAMU?
Oh, most definitely. I would not, I wouldn't deny that at all. I've gotten a plethora of support. It's been amazing. It's been amazing.
Briefly, because we do have to go to break, can we talk about your organizations on campus? I know you're heavily involved. Briefly, can you give us a synopsis?
Okay, so currently I'm the founder and also the presiding president of the FAMU Women's Student Union. I started the organization. This is the first semester it's been started, so that's really been what I've been focusing my time on. I'm a previous 2016 orientation leader. I'm a current resident assistant in one of the residential facilities here on campus called FAMU Village West. I am a part of the National Society of Black Engineers. I serve within the Community Outreach Committee. I was a part of Big Sister, Little Sister, a mentoring program my freshman year, received a Big Sister. I was a part of the American Society of Agriculture and Biological Engineers, ASABI.
So you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot. Okay.
A lot.
And you have a 3.4 GPA,
yes.
correct? Okay. So Imani Cooper, amazing. Your involvement, your GPA, and that's why you were selected to be an HBCU White House All-Star. When we come back from break, we'll talk about your experience in the White House.
Thank you.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul.
Calls me googly eyes.
You know you're beautiful, right? You know that?
Even you're beautiful. I got bullied for wearing glasses. Share if you're against bullying.
We put it out there, just took off. 3 million people have shared this post. Don't let bullies get you down. I stand with you. Our whole family's wearing glasses. I wear glasses and I'm proud.
I even have the army on my team.
All the kind comments brought my child joy. I don't feel thank you is enough.
Thanks.
Welcome back to Land Grant today. We have the pleasure of speaking to Miss Imani Cooper. Imani, again, you were at the White House.
Yes, I was.
You spent 3 days at the White House. And we're going to talk about the program.
Okay.
So just tell us a little bit about the program. What are the objectives and what do they hope to accomplish?
So the name of the program is the HBCU All-Star Program for White House Initiatives.
Okay.
And what the HBCU All-Star ambassadors do is there's about 1 to 3 different ambassadors representing HBCUs across the nation. And we serve as the official voice for our HBCU for the White House.
Okay.
And the White House has a sector that is the HBCU All-Star Initiative sector that they have within the White House office, and they have staff and administration that actually head the entire office. And the initiatives that they implement within the White House, they use us as their official ambassadors to start those initiatives on our campus and be the voice for education, be the voice for the White House, be the voice for HBCUs, for our prospective campuses. And the objective of the initiative started about 5 years ago. They've had about 5 cohorts, and cohort is basically just a new wave of ambassadors for each year.
So it started under President Barack Obama?
Yes,
Okay.
it did actually. Of course, we have a new president now, but I'm glad that the program is still a thing.
Yeah, me too.
So that's basically really what they want to do and make sure that HBCUs have that voice in the White House, because we make up a large percentage of African Americans that are successful within the nation. And so it's so important that we highlight these HBCUs, these universities, these colleges that are producing so many successful African Americans and minorities today. So that's really what the initiative is.
Okay. Tell us about the application process. Was it rigorous?
The application, it actually, surprisingly, it wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be.
Okay.
It required a letter of recommendation. You have to have a campus-based mentor. Mine, of course, is Dr. McGee. Okay. So you have to get a recommendation letter, have to fill out a small, short application, along with your campus mentor. There's about 2 essays you have to do. It's not bad at all.
Right. All right. So how long, duration of the program, and when did you go?
Okay, so the program, it lasts an entire year, academic year, until the next application period.
Right.
Application period occurs usually around this semester, fall semester, towards the end. And it's basically, they come up with a new wave of individuals that come through every application period. and it's for a whole year. So that we work within the program for the year.
So tell me about your experience now. As you mentioned, we have a new president, probably a different climate in the White House.
Yes.
Tell me your experience working in the White House.
So the HBCU Summit Conference, it was held in Washington, D.C., and we did get the chance to, the entire conference was held in the White House, and we got a chance to also tour the White House.
Oh, wow.
And being there, meeting the administration, I met various administration that work within the White House, that work directly under the president. And I guess the atmosphere, of course, we know we have a new president, and I guess the attitudes of those that were there, of course, we embrace each other, we support one another, and we got that same support, that feeling of acceptance from the administration in the White House. They did acknowledge us as HBCU All-Stars multiple times, which I thought was very, very great, very commendable, because not a lot of people know the week is actually supposed to be an entire week of conferences, and they actually had to downsize the conference because of the things that were happening within our society, and due to things with our president and the White House. So the conference wasn't what it was supposed to be planned as originally. So of course we got that same tension when we were there, but of course we still came for the reason of networking with one another, getting to know different federal agencies and things like that.
So despite the tension and things not going as originally planned, what's the most impactful lesson that you took home?
Really just how important HBCUs are. I don't think a lot of people realize the role that HBCUs play in our country, and then also just having a love for my own HBCU, being at FAMU, because other HBCUs, people say HBCUs have this amount of issues, or FAMU is not the best school. We have so many issues. We have this issue, we have that issue, but there's other schools that are far worse. And so my takeaway was FAMU really does provide for their students. Like, it could be way worse than what we have now. And we're lucky to have a career center. There's schools that don't even have a career center to help students, build a resume. So that really was eye-opening for me, and I really appreciate what my university does. We are not perfect. We're far from perfect, but FAMU really does try, and I really did take that away, and I really just brought back a genuine love for being at an HBCU, and I have no regrets, not coming to an HBCU. So. Okay.
Now, as a requirement of attending the program, is there anything that you have to do when you return to campus, briefly?
Yes, so each HBCU All-Star is responsible for heading a campus or community-wide event that deals with a certain initiative or an issue that they want to address within their community. And they have to do it within the academic period that we are HBCU All-Stars. So that's our one main requirement that we have to do, and of course just being the voice for the White House as well.
Okay, and we're going to elaborate on that in the next segment. Okay. But before we go to break, one question I do have to ask: did you meet the president?
No, we did not get to meet the president.
Okay, you did not meet the president.
Unfortunately, no.
All right. Well, we have to go to break. When we come back, we'll talk about Imani's Cooper initiative that she's going to implement this year.
Thank you.
All right. All right, good. Well done, well done.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Find fun activities to do, like boating and biking, or camping and hiking, plus much more. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Welcome back to Land Grant today. Our guest is Imani Cooper. Imani, you just returned from the White House, and now you've been charged with the responsibility of implementing an initiative. So can you tell us what initiative you chose to implement?
So, of course, as we covered earlier, my major is within the College of Agriculture and Food Sciences, and so I wanted to center my initiative around my major because that is really what I'm passionate about, and that's my focus right now, my concentration.
That makes sense.
Right. So my initiative is a food assistance program. I want to have a seminar for the students in the community to have a better understanding of what is out there to assist with food, and if you are struggling to eat or buy groceries, what programs there are that the federal agency has to assist you in that. So that is really what my initiative is centered around, yes.
Okay, so it's an important issue.
Yes, it is.
And it's related to your major, so they go hand in hand.
They do.
Okay, so now is this an issue just in Leon County, or is this issue a national issue?
This is a national issue. This is a worldwide issue. Feeding everyone and hunger has been an issue for years around the world. And so that is something, of course, within my major and also within the field that I want to address, but within my initiative, I really want to spearhead this initiative for people in the community and nationally too, because it is an issue amongst a lot of people, and it needs to be addressed.
So when can we expect, what can we expect, I guess, from the initiative? Is it an event or website? Like,
so
what does it look like?
I want to do an awareness seminar, basically just to show awareness of what is out there that we can use, because there are plenty of resources and programs that are available to assist with food assistance, but a lot of people are very ignorant of it, and they're not knowledgeable on what is available. And so the seminar really will be that information that people will need to know what is available out there that can assist them. So that's what.
Okay, very important. Do you have the support of the White House with this initiative, or are you expected to do it on your own?
Yes, the White House is very supportive. They have put me in contact with plenty of people within the USDA, which is who I'm working with, my federal agency. Every All-Star is matched with a federal agency that will assist with their initiative. And so, of course, they matched me with USDA, and they put me in contact with several people within the department to assist me as far as getting me information that I need for the seminar, and even coming to speak on behalf of the USDA as well. So.
Okay, so it's good that you have their support, but what about locally? How can people reach out to you, and are you interested in the support of local organizations or agencies?
I'm very interested in any organization or person that is willing to assist me as far as planning the event or give me feedback or suggestions as far as what they want to hear, what they want or expecting, and their issues as well, using their voices as well. And that's something that I really want to do. And of course, I'm open. If you want to reach out to me, my cell phone number, email, anything like social media, I'm really big on social media. So that's something that I really use as a great contact point or information about what I'm doing. So.
Okay. Sounds like a good initiative, and we'll love to have you on the show at the end to discuss. But we do have to go to break. When we come back, we'll have final words from Imani Cooper.
Okay.
When I was 6, I had one thing on my mind. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball every chance I could. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to learn the signs of a stroke fast. F-A-S-T.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. Because the sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke, F-A-S-T, fast.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back to Land Grant today. We had the pleasure of speaking to Imani Cooper. Imani, before we go, I want to ask you a question. You've been here for about 3 years at FAMU. You're doing amazing things, 3.4 GPA. You're involved in so much on campus. What motivates you to be successful, and what advice would you give a high school student?
My motivation is kind of cliche, but my family really, my parents have pushed me throughout my entire life, and I feel obligated to really show them that I can do anything that I set out to do. And of course, I'm the oldest of 4 children, so I have younger brothers and sisters that are looking up to me to be that, that person in our family to really do great. And I really want to set that example for them. And so that's really what's pushed me. And because I am so far from home, and I don't get to see them as often, I feel like, because I don't see my family as much, this is really, my time to really do well and show them that my time is being spent doing things that I want to benefit them, and I want to benefit those around me. So that's really my push and my motivation every day.
Okay, and briefly, what advice would you give a high school senior?
I would tell a high school senior, know what you want to do. You don't have to have an exact plan about what you want to do for the rest of your life, but have an idea and stick with that too, and really stick to and stay true to who you are. And that's really what I can say to them.
Okay. Imani, thank you for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.